You see the wood, the shine on the wood. That wax is in the grain, the propolis is in the cracks. So this house is always going to attract swarms.
Good morning. Welcome back to the 628 Dirt Rooster channel, where hobby beekeeping is a way of life. I'm in the mood for some bacon and cheese grits, and Elizabeth is headed to work, and she doesn't have time to dilly-dally. So I went out ahead of her to get to Superseed, see if I can get a plate to fix for her so she can stop and grab it on her way past. And then I'll go back and get me a plate. Double bacon and cheese grit.
We got a different one today. I was just on the phone with JP a couple weeks ago talking about open air colonies and how I never see them. He said he gets 2, 3, 4 a year. I never see them. I've probably done a removal on one in my life and maybe seen a handful. But we got one today in this house. This is a freaking treasure, man. We have got a very good size open air colony. You know, the bees clustered on it. It's cool today. It's in the high 50s right now. So they're bunched up tight. I gotta put a hood and some gloves on, or they're gonna eat me up for breaking up the cluster. They all came off. There's another open air colony up there you can see the marks from. And then further up, there's a loose piece of soffit. That's where they all came from. There's gonna be a big hive in that soffit up there. But I gotta come back with a man lift because we're like, well, I'm 12 foot up right here. That's probably 30 something foot to that. And this little narrow porch won't allow for a ladder to stand up on that. Get that upper one, and then we gotta do all the repairs, because if we don't do any repairs, you know what happens, they just come back. I'll show you all the queen cells. So those could be a month and a half old, but at some point late summer they made a bunch of queens and swarmed off of this. Some long combs though. I'm gonna cut it from the bottom. I'm gonna go from the bottom, so I'm cutting up on the comb so I don't have to try to reach around. Now, I do expect to get stung some today, but we're going to try to minimize that. I'm going to be as gentle as I can be with them. And I'm staying covered up. Start pulling all these off the outside. Real slowly. Let that cluster cool off a little more. Have them bunching up, and we can start cutting combs. Oh, I smell them already. They're mad. Smell bananas. They're starting to get on me. So we're gonna. I may even have to put a jacket on to do this one. Whew. Both arms. Both arms and the neck. Yeah, this is gonna take a jacket. I'm thinking. Starting to settle a little bit. Just keep on working them until I feel like they've given me enough.
Are you getting them down now?
Yeah.
Well, they still, oh, so you're not finished.
No, I'm just starting to vacuum them, but
So that's what you do. That's what this other guy did. So you just suck them into there and then scrape that off?
Back them up, cut those combs down, and see if there's
Yeah.
see if there's any brood or resources in there.
Oh, it is a vacuum. Vacuum.
It's a VVAC. There's a screen right here that separates the motor from the cage.
And where are the bees?
They're in
Down
here.
there.
One of the benefits of a bee jacket, aside from not getting tore up during the job, is you can work faster. Still being gentle, but I don't have to be so slow. Working no jacket, no protection, you gotta be really cautious, really slow. Just be gentle. Steady, slow movements. And the good thing about working even mad honeybees in a suit as opposed, or in a jacket as opposed to southern yellow jackets, which has been the last two jobs I showed up for. They were supposed to be honeybees, is that southern yellow jackets will go for your legs, and honeybees don't really do that. They pretty much stay up top. There are some exceptions, especially if you hit them long enough, they get you in the legs, but for the most part, they stay up top and just work on that jacket. Watch them when I move the vac hose up there real quick. A bunch of them jump off.
They don't like it too much, huh?
They hate my guts right now.
They're mad at everybody.
They are. They didn't want to be fooled with.
You say those are all females?
Yep, every one of them. You can't tell by how they act. Now I'm definitely going from the bottom on this one. I'm reaching up way. I'm way overhead. Just pulling my jacket up. It ain't exposing my belly, but it's getting pretty close. And they're about to get on my legs. I've had a few of them try. Big old drone brood comb. She's pretty. Good amount of brood and nectar on this one. It's warming up. They're starting to come out, move out of the combs, especially since I've torn down one brood comb. They're starting to move over. They're still clustering pretty good, but it's warming up. They're getting out of that comb. Ooh, listen to them getting stirred up, just scraping on that wood. Oh, son. A lot of freaking bees in there. They're pretty quick on the uptake. They know where home went. A little bit of this is robin. Look right here. We got some fighting on this comb. A little bit of robin from that hive up top. And some fighting down here too on the bench. If you ever wondered what kind of self-defense honeybees use, it's grappling. It's Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Break it up, fellas. Break it up. Break it up. No. They are locked onto each other. Give them time to cluster up, vac the remains. Queen's in the vac already. I haven't seen her. I know there was a queen in there because there's eggs and very young larvae. She was a good one. Nice to have her. She's still laying real good, and we're in late October. So good queen to have. They're just not putting on the resources, but we'll feed them. We'll get them going again and get them through winter. This is just a real nice area for bees. I might have to talk to him about letting me bring some hives up here. There's a river down there, down below that staircase, and then there's a giant swamp out front. I had to drive through the swamp to get here. So resources for days, all kind of good wild forage. There's no row crops, no farming within a lot of miles, and just the right setup. It's funny how comfortable you get sitting in a cloud of bees when you've been doing it for a while. I'm as comfortable doing this as I would be sitting in my truck, you know. Of course there's a potential of getting stung, but so what? Getting crapped on is a bigger danger. I have to wash this suit and my hat. I had one die dragging her guts across my hat. I had somebody ask me, I mentioned something about how we clean our hats, and I had somebody asked me about it, and I couldn't remember who it was. I don't know what platform it was on, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, whatever. So I'm gonna have to do a video showing y'all how we clean the hat and stuff, because bee poop and pollen, and I just trying to wipe that off. I just smeared it in. There you go. I'll rub it in real good, and then we'll do a hat cleaning video. It don't get much nicer than this. It's about 68 degrees now. Nice breeze. Bees all flying around me enjoying themselves. They're fighting to the death. They're not enjoying themselves. They're fighting all over the place. We got a good cluster building up top though. I'll get up and vacuum those and scrape the rest of that wax off that soffit. That'll be the job. We'll pack up and go home. We're getting a little cluster up there. When I'm done vacuuming my nose, I'll take that 5-in-1, scrape the rest of that wax down. It doesn't do anything to deter any future swarms from landing there. You see the wood, the shine on the wood. That wax is in the grain. The propolis is in the cracks. Propolis is in the grain of the wood. That smell's there from now on. So this house is always going to attract swarms. So the only thing you can do to prevent it is seal up that soffit and keep them from coming back in the soffit. If they hadn't been in that soffit up top, they probably wouldn't have built the open air on the soffit down low, because this is just where the swarm landed and they didn't have anywhere else to build. They were just kind of forced to build right there. It's a good spot. Really good spot, right on the river.